You clicked on this video thinking you'll hear about throwing away old stuff, or maybe turning off your phone. But not this time. We're going to talk about something much more important. These things aren't physical. You can't see them, but you feel an immense weight. This is the weight of invisible bad habits. Thoughts that circle without direction. Behaviors that drain your energy without you noticing. Today, we're going to talk about 6 of these things. The ones that live between the lines of your routine. And when you finally identify them, when you see them for what they really are, something changes irreversibly. One, the weight of other people's expectations. Think about how many versions of you exist in other people's heads. The version your parents would like you to be, the one your friends expect, the one your coworkers assume. Each of these versions has its own expectations, its own judgments, its own needs. And you keep trying to honor all of them, molding yourself, adjusting yourself, explaining your choices to people who never ask for your opinion, but somehow you feel you owe them something. There's a particular exhaustion in living for imaginary audiences, because even when you manage to please one version, there's always another one there, waiting, disappointed with your choices. Many people do this constantly, choosing clothes, thinking about what others will say, not sharing opinions for fear of judgment, having a version of themselves for each context, exhausting to maintain all these masks. The first step isn't to rebel against this or announce your independence. You simply stop, observe, recognize that these expectations only exist because you keep feeding them with your attention. And then, delicately, you can start letting them go. What happens when you let go? The right people come closer because you're finally being yourself. 2, carrying past failures. There's a silent form of self-sabotage that we rarely recognize. This isn't fear of failure, something more subtle. Carrying your past failures as if they were permanent proof of who you are. That debt from years ago becomes, I'm terrible with money. That difficult breakup transforms into, I can't maintain relationships. That abandoned project crystallizes into, I always quit things. And then, each new attempt doesn't start from zero. It starts carrying the weight of all the previous times, as if you were running a marathon with a backpack full of stones that you yourself put there. This happens all the time. Having a mental list of all the times you failed, and that list stays there, whispering quietly every time you think about trying something new. And maybe the cruelest part is how easily you believe that voice. Thinking you're being realistic, protecting yourself from future disappointments, but actually, just keeping yourself trapped in old versions of who you were. Because here's the truth that takes time to understand. You're not the person who made that mistake. You're the person who learned from it, or who is learning, or who simply moved on. But while you identify with failure, there's no room for transformation. Eliminating this isn't a moment, it's a process. Eliminating this takes time. Automatic thoughts don't disappear overnight. They fade as you stop feeding them. Most of them aren't truths, just old stories you've repeated for so long they started to sound real. But with awareness and consistency, those patterns begin to lose their power. Three, being available to everyone all the time. There's a silent belief that being a good person means always being accessible, always ready, always willing to pause your life to attend to someone else's life. Constant availability becomes delusion. You become a shared resource, an energy source that everyone can connect to freely, without considering that you also need to recharge. Some people have this deep belief that they need to always be available. Respond quickly, help everyone, never say no. The weight of always showing up for others turns into exhaustion, quiet resentment, and the sense that their own life no longer belongs to them. And the most curious thing, people who truly care about you never demand this unlimited availability. They understand rhythms. They understand boundaries. They understand that your presence has more value when you choose to offer it, when you give it intentionally, rather than letting it be extracted from you by habit or obligation. Try establishing times to respond to messages. Learn to say, "I can't now, but I can tomorrow." Create sacred spaces of unavailability. Maybe time to redefine what it means to be present. Something precious that you offer intentionally, not something you owe everyone, always. 4. Consuming content without implementing. There's something seductive about the idea of being prepared. One more course, one more book, one more video explaining exactly how to do that thing you already know you need to do. And while you consume, there's a sense of progress. You're learning, evolving, getting ready for when the right moment comes. But think honestly, how many right moments have you let pass while waiting to be more prepared? It feels safer to stay in the planning phase because nothing is being tested yet. And starting exposes your limitations. Starting means facing the distance between where you are and where you'd like to be. Some people get addicted to this, always having something new to learn. It seems productive, just a sophisticated form of procrastination. Because learning without applying becomes entertainment, wearing the disguise of personal growth. And then you postpone, just a little more preparation, just one more resource, just until you feel ready. Ready is a horizon that recedes as you advance. What changes everything? Doing with what you already know. You probably already have enough knowledge to take the next step. Maybe not to complete the entire journey, but fully enough for the next step. And that step, however small, is worth more than 1,000 hours of additional preparation. 5. Overthinking decisions that don't matter. Spending 20 minutes deciding what to eat for lunch. half an hour choosing clothes, an hour comparing products at the supermarket to save $2. Your brain operates with a finite amount of mental energy each day. This gradual decline is known as decision fatigue. Every small choice consumes part of that limited resource, and trivial decisions are surprisingly expensive. Tiny decisions that you multiply by dozens, by hundreds throughout the day. By the afternoon, your mind is running on low power, not because of anything meaningful, but because of the micro decisions that chipped away at your capacity. One way to protect your mental energy is to simplify the choices you face. Preparing things in advance helps more than most people realize. Planning your meals for the week, choosing a few outfit combinations you can rely on, keeping the basics already sorted out. All of that reduces the constant friction of everyday decisions. With fewer decisions competing for space, your mind gains room to focus on tasks that demand clarity and presence. And those repetitive choices are no longer consuming your internal resources. A lighter decision load opens space for a more intentional way of moving through your day. Six, the need to be right. There's a kind of exhaustion that comes from carrying the need to be right all the time. A person starts chasing validation, wanting their perspective to stand as the strongest one in the room. Conversations change. A small disagreement feels sharper. Discussions drift from sharing ideas to defending ground. And suddenly minor points turn into arguments simply because someone pushed back. When this pattern sets in, curiosity fades. The mind stops exploring new angles and closes off possibilities that could broaden how someone sees the world. Most conversations come from personal history and lived experience, which naturally creates different viewpoints. When the pressure to be right loses force, everything shifts. Talking feels lighter. Listening becomes easier. Adjusting your perspective feels like letting air back into the room. People sense this change. They feel space to speak, and they respond to confidence that doesn't need to dominate the moment. A calmer approach to disagreement opens room for growth, connection, and clearer understanding, the kind that comes from wanting to learn, not win. So, these are the 6 things. None announces its presence. You don't see them, but you feel carrying them day to day. And together, they occupy so much space that you forget what breathing without weight feels like. Letting go takes time. It grows from awareness and steady attention. From choosing where your energy goes and adjusting that choice as the days pass. Some patterns eventually return, often in subtle ways, sounding urgent or necessary when they appear. Once you can identify them clearly, the direction of your day shifts back to your hands. You decide how to move forward,